Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast.
This is a show dedicated to helping you become a better organist.
We're your hosts, Vidas
And Aušra Motūzaitė-Pinkevičienė.
We have over 25 years of experience of playing the organ.
And we've been teaching thousands of organists online from 89 countries since 2011.
So now let's jump in and get started with the podcast for today.
We hope you'll enjoy it.
Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Aušra.
Let's start episode 723 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by Filipa, and she writes, Hi Vidas, my dream would be for the idea of improvisation not to make me very nervous and to be something I can do with some degree of confidence. 2. The 3 things holding me back are chord progressions and harmonizations while improvising, not practicing improvisation like I practice my repertoire, and needing lots more super simple videos like you share to help me learn. I would love to see more videos about simple improvisations. I am a great organist, but improvisation is and has always been a major black hole for me. And I am getting a lot of out your videos about harmonization, chord progressions, and simple improvisation. More of these simple videos or ones that build on the video would be most helpful. For example, I use the techniques in the Auld Lang Syne video to make an improvisation on St. Brendan's. They'll know we are Christians, as it is also pentatonic in an ABA format. I'm going to use a bicinium for the B part, I think. But it was something you mentioned could be done to expand in the Auld Lang Syne video. And I'm working on it as something for communion for a job interview. I think you're doing a really excellent job of explaining things very simply. I have to make it a goal for 2025 to work on the techniques you are sharing for improvisation, rather than just being stuck to the page. I need it so simply and clearly explained. Thank you, Filipa. And I wrote to her, Filipa, thank you. I'm glad you're finding my tutorials helpful. More to come every Sunday. For the best use, rewatch the ones that resonate with you the most to internalize these techniques and apply them in your practice with different hymn tunes in order to become more confident in improvising. If you find my teachings helpful, you can always say thanks by buying me some coffee or becoming a subscriber here. buymeacoffee.com/organduo. So that was a long question, but basically Filipa needs advice on improvisation. Right, Aušra?
Yes. And I think my answer would be, you just need to practice more doing improvisation because she wrote that she's a great organist. So if she can play, let's say, difficult repertoire, then what stops her from being an excellent improvisator, basically. And I can answer that as well, because she does not spend enough time improvising, that's it. If she would spend equally as much time on repertoire and on improvisation, she would be as good improviser as she is. Of course, now she probably is too late to be as good improviser as she is performer. But it only means that she would need to spend more hours learning how to improvise rather than playing from page.
Definitely. I think she wrote one of the things holding her back was not practicing improvisation like she practices her repertoire. So that's obvious.
That's an answer to her problem.
But the reason she's not spending enough time on improvisation probably is because it is frustrating to start at the beginning, because she started probably as a repertoire player, or a hymn player on the organ, not an improviser. And when you start to improvise, you don't, one thing is you don't know where to start, and two is, even if you know where to start, your skills are so simple at the beginning. Maybe you know how to do it, what to do it, but your practical abilities are so limited at this point. Only the theoretical things are easy in your head to understand, but well, that's the problem with everyone starting
Well,
out.
I would not so be sure about, that it's easy for you like to understand the theory, because what she taught about like chord progression, learning chord progression and all that kind of stuff, I always wondering that most of organists and in general most of the musicians can play like really technically challenging repertoire without understanding what we are playing, not being able to analyze what we are playing, not looking really at the score, how the pieces put together, what chord progressions different composer uses and what the form is and so on and so forth. Because when you are just a little child, you already can play, let's say, minuet, yes, from Anne Magdalene's book, but I really doubt that most of the kids could say in which key we are playing, and what is the form of the piece, and in general what the minuet is for, and so on and so forth. And if you would ask about cadences, I doubt that any of the kids would even know what the word cadence means. So it seems like our head is always way behind of what we are playing.
I see the notes on the sheet, music on the score, right? And we simply play those notes on the keyboard or the pedals without understanding why those notes are on the score.
Yes.
That's how most of the teachers teach, basically. It's easier this way. Put a score in front of a kid and say, play this. Play this note for that long and move on to the next note. But if we're talking about improvisation, yeah, obviously my videos is probably helpful for this matter. And that's why I set out to do those weekly tutorials, Learn with Vidas sessions. Not only to teach what I find it helpful to teach, but also to teach what people request me to teach. Sometimes they have requests. So, yeah, so really I try to adapt to people's tastes and abilities and requirements. And people can take away things like techniques that I use and apply in their own hymn tunes. Not necessarily the same thing that I'm teaching, copying what I do, but just technique taken from the video could be applied to many other tunes.
Yeah, that's a very useful tool. I hope people appreciate what you are doing, because you are really spending a lot of time on it. It would be nice to get more appreciation from people who really watch your videos.
Yes, so obviously I love seeing people succeed. I love seeing people use those techniques, not only in theory but also in practice. So if you are using my advice from those videos, Philippa or any other listener, right? Or from Moshe's tutorials in the past, she has done quite a few. So let us know, of course. We would be delighted to know what are you doing with this advice, right? So let us know. We would be delighted to share with the world too.
Yes.
Okay, and obviously I will keep producing those tutorials. And for example, last tutorial on Sunday was about expanding a piece, because my friend James Flores, with whom I was in Australia, noticed one situation. I was being asked to improvise for a mass on Sunday vigil. So it was Saturday evening, and James would play hymns, and I would play sort of preludes to those hymns, like prelude before the mass, before the entrance hymn, and then I think it was communion, meditation before the communion hymn, and then I think it was the postlude. Three pieces I improvised during that mass. And James noticed that I kind of expand improvisation in any way I want. I can make it as short or as long as it is needed. And this is really a beautiful tool to have in the liturgy, because you don't know how soon you have to end, right, Osha?
Yes, that's a very useful skill. Not only like playing at the mass, but also as we often play at the ceremonies, official ceremonies at the university for graduations and other.
Yes, obviously you can take a piece of music and repeat a section. That would be one of the things you can do to expand it. But another is to simply keep improvising in the same style, using the similar chord progression, similar key relationships, and also similar melodies. But then finish with a cadence which is meaningful and sort of complements the original piece. So it's useful for many actually situations. Even in recital playing, I have done it in the past. Improvising a part of the music. Let's say my page turn was wrong. Somebody would turn the page to the wrong direction, and I would have to supply a few measures of unknown music to me, or I forgot how it sounds. Yeah, I wouldn't want to freeze or panic, so I just kept going in the same direction, but it was different than it was written in the score. And when the real correct page turn happened, I quickly found the place, and then gradually connected my playing with the original piece, and seamlessly went on. I even have one video playing from memory Bach's C major prelude from Well-Tempered Clavier. It started like original Bach, but then I forgot how it sounds, and I had to keep going using my own harmonies, but the same techniques that Bach uses. So that was like a hybrid. It wasn't difficult to do at all, actually. You just have to keep producing new harmonies and applying the same texture that Bach uses.
Amazing.
It's not amazing. It's ridiculously simple,
Yes.
as Zita de Vries used to say.
You need to be brave, and you need to be a little bit risk taker and a little bit insane, I would say.
Insane? No, not insane. You don't need to take a big risk. For example, big risk would be when lots of people are listening to you, right? But small risk is when you are improvising during liturgy, when people are just gathering, or going to communion and nobody is really paying attention to what you're playing. And the most important thing is for you not to stop, right? Not to correct mistakes if there are any mistakes. Just keep going, and to end confidently, right? Beginning and ending, it has to be confident, and middle could be whatever you want it to be.
Well said.
Just like in storytelling or telling jokes, the beginning is very important. and the punchline. And the middle part is you fill in the material basically. All right. So hope this was helpful to you. Please let us know more of your questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.
This podcast is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online.
It has hundreds of courses, coaching, and practice materials for every area of organ playing, thousands of instructional videos and PDFs. You will not find more value anywhere else online.
Total Organist helps you to master any piece, perfect your technique, develop your sight reading skills, improvise or compose your own music, and much, much more.
Sign up and begin your training today at organduo.lt and click on Total Organist. And of course, you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
If you like our organ music, you can also support us on Buy Me a Coffee platform.
Find out more at buymeacoffee.com/organduo.